welcome back to another episode of the Ruck and Rise podcast. I was actually looking up what number we're on, and this is our 20th episode, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's season 3, episode number 5, for anybody who is keeping track, and we are talking to two of the creators of this cool workshop called Through Horses Workshops. We have Amanda and Taylor with us today. Welcome, you guys.
Hi, thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out. We're very excited to learn more about your workshops and also a little bit more about each of you and the four of you and how you guys kind of all came together and created this. Would you guys like to do a little intro or bio just of yourselves? You can share as much or as little as you'd like.
Sure.
Awesome.
I'll just do a quick, this is our first podcast ever, so bear with us today. Taylor, did you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Taylor. I do massage and craniosacral for horses. And I've also been getting into yoga recently. I have my 200-hour teacher training. And so kind of the perspective that I come to this work from is from working with the body. I think that we're often really, really disconnected from our bodies, and our horses are really good at showing us where that disconnection lies. And so it's interesting from my perspective, being able to work with the horses' bodies and then with people's bodies as well through yoga and being able to bridge those two aspects together. So it all kind of started without, giving you my whole life story. It kind of started with my horse, Haley, that I had her since I was 14. And then she passed last year. So I had her for 10 years. And from the time that you're 14 to 24, you go through a lot of life changes in that time. And she was always there for me and kind of guiding me. And she's really what started me on this path. So a lot of what I do now is because of her.
I like it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. I love, that you're kind of bringing both worlds together to help people. And it's also helped you along the way too. And it kind of is a way to connect to Haley. That's her name, right? Haley?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. A way to keep connected with her even moving forward. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you want to give a little bit on Trish as well?
Yeah, so Trish isn't here, but she's another one of our facilitators for our clinics. And Trish has been working with horses for over 30 years. And it's really funny. She always says that when she looks back, she can see that she was always meant to be a trainer. She always attracted the trauma and behavioral cases in horses and the really nervous riders. And it's kind of one of those things that she didn't necessarily see the path. It just kind of happened and she fell into it and it unraveled the way that it did. But yeah, she teaches and trains full time. And that's kind of the angle that she comes at this from, is she really specializes in working with the horses. And also when she's working with horses who have behavioral or trauma issues, and then she can see how the riders affect different horses as well. When she has lesson horses and she puts different riders on the horses and how their responses change depending on who's riding them or working with them. So she uses her experience to help both horses and riders sort of find that awareness as well in her workshops.
Yeah, that's so cool. It'd be so fascinating for her to be able to pick out who she thinks will be a good pairing and then to see it come together. Or if she is ever surprised by putting a rider and a horse together and she's like, oh, actually it's not meshing quite the way she had imagined, then being able to switch it up would be really cool too.
I would say that's actually one of her specialties. She has matched me with all of my horses. The ongoing joke is that I've never had a say in what horse that I have, because Trish has literally just brought them to me.
She's now as our local horse matchmaker.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So our next facilitator is Darianne. She's also not here. So Darianne's kind of relatively new into horses compared to the rest of us. She kind of fell into it we call it my vortex. I got started in horses and then I just kind of sucked her into the world and was like, you're coming with me. So kind of like her description of it is that she didn't go searching for horses. She just kind of found them. But more likely they found her, kind of that same like thing that Taylor was just mentioning. So for her, it started, again, when I sucked her into the whole horse world, she kind of got parted with one of my horses, Honey, and they meshed really, really well. So that kind of started her journey. And then she eventually found her current horse, London, or London found her, I guess, when she needed it. So she kind of describes it as she gets to spend time with them and kind of understanding herself in a better way, where they give her something that she didn't realize that she was missing. They allow her to kind of see where she's like holding too tightly at spots and kind of where she needs to soften and where she has a lot of strength that she doesn't actually think she's got or can't see. And their kind of quiet presence just gives her the ability to kind of lean into their intuition and into herself, where she can be truthful in ways that she didn't think she could before, kind of thing. That also provides like a grounding spot for her that she gets to just kind of settle back into herself and be like, oh yeah, okay, this is who I am. This is kind of how we go. She's had a lot of like grief and stuff and some heavy life experiences over the past few years. So they kind of fell into her life in a way that they were there to support her, where she could actually go back through and re-find herself through the muddied waters of all of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and her hope from it, with all of our clinics. So she brings kind of an interesting perspective, because she's kind of newer into the horse world. She can kind of connect with those who don't have any experience in a way that we necessarily can't or don't. So she can kind of help them and guide them a little bit differently than we can. So she's hoping that these clinics, from her perspective, will help everybody else kind of see like, oh, there is kind of ways to get through this, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And I think it kind of helps too, for someone who has, like me, for example, I really like looking at horses. I think they're beautiful, but I know nothing about them. I have virtually no experience really around them. So for someone who would be as new as me to also know that, I mean, I would trust your experience as well, but it kind of helps to bridge that gap for somebody who's maybe a little bit hesitant to like, oh, it's a little bit intimidating walking into this world of you guys with all the knowledge. As someone new, Derry kind of helps be that almost like a liaison, like between both worlds, to help, support that new person along in their journey until they feel fully like, oh, they get hooked on it, love it.
Definitely.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to have all those different levels of experience. And also not only just with the horses, but all you guys are all bringing different life experiences into it as well. So it can be, your workshops can be tailored to different things like grief or yoga. And I mean, those things could be together as well, but you could, the sky is the limit really for what you could do and how you could tailor it for different people. So it's really cool that you guys come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then a quick, I guess, bio on myself, last but not least. So again, I've been in kind of horses for 15 years or so, just like owning my own, that kind of thing, and muddying my way through the waters. So I guess it was, when was that, 2023? So a couple of years ago now. I had 3 horses at the time that just different circumstances that had kind of come about. I ended up having the decision to put all of them down together. It was a really big choice, really big decision to make. But it kind of actually opened up the door that led me in this path. I had done a lot of like self-reflection and thinking kind of during that time, like sitting with that thought of having to go through this, and their just whole kind of calm presence around it. And then I remember the day that it had actually happened. I was talking with Trish, and I had this recollection of a conversation I had had like 3 or 4 years previous with a communicator. I had done a reading with all of the horses, and each of them kind of had like a little lesson for me. And at the end of it, they were like, we think you should do something like this and become like your higher self type thing. And I didn't really think much of it at that point. And then it was like something triggered and I was like, oh, I forgot about this. So I kind of went back and revisited that and started looking into it. And so I had been talking to Trish and I was like, yeah, I think I'm actually going to start pursuing this and see what it was about. So that's kind of how I started into my equine assisted learning. And then from there, Trish took it and was like, oh, well, I've got like even bigger ideas. Let's take a step further. And she's like, we could do this and this and this. And that's kind of how our whole clinic system workshop started. Was kind of from that, like that was the catalyst for it all. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm thoroughly impressed. Coming into this, I mean, much like Ali, I have very limited experience around horses. Anyone that I've talked to that has horses or been around horses, I mean, they tell me the connection. There's a lot of intuition between the individual and the horse, and they say like the connection is very powerful between someone. Well, we know it with animals, even with our dogs. You can sense and you can feel the connection that you have with animals. But from my understanding, the connection with person and horse is even greater. I've had little experience riding myself, but I've always been kind of told and had experience when I'm on the horse, understanding that that horse is going to sense your stress levels and body language and how calm and how so. If you're uptight, it's going to be a little anxious itself. So I think this is amazing what you guys are taking on. So
I think that's a great place to kind of start and touch on because our horses, like if we watch them when they're out in the herd, our horses, we know that they're nonverbal, right? They don't communicate the same way that we do. And so their primary mode of communication is through body language and energy and movement and feeling. And so horses are really fine-tuned to these subtle changes, right? They have to be aware of what all the other horses in the herd are doing. And there's usually like a herd leader that everyone will look to for their safety. And so horses are really, really good at being able to pick up on these subtle cues. And that's why they're really, really helpful in this sort of work that we're trying to bring out to more people, is because if there's no like fake it till you make it with horses. Like they see right through that. And so if you're projecting something sort of energy or feeling that isn't in congruence with what you're actually feeling inside, the horse is going to pick up on that and they're going to be like, like there's something here that doesn't match. And so horses are really good at pulling out those parts of us that they get to the core of what we're actually bringing in the present moment.
And whether you're aware of it or not, I've worked with some clients who outwardly look like they're totally calm, at peace, there's nothing going on, and the horse is having a complete meltdown, like, no, there is something here, like, you need to suss this out. So it's cool from my perspective to watch just the different communications that I can get from partnering with the horses while working with different people, and kind of like how they express it, because each horse is very different in how they express it, and each client that they work with. And even if it's the same, like I could work with the same horse with the same person a couple times, and each time I'm going to get different responses from that horse based on what that person's expressing.
Right.
Yeah.
And on that note, with regards to that, when the outward appearance of someone seems very calm, and then they get on a horse and it's very apparent that that's not so much the case, as the horse is showing signs of that stressful energy coming to them. Do you try to dig a little bit deeper with that individual to try and draw out maybe what the underlying cause is, or do you just sort of let them try to settle down with the horse?
It depends on kind of how the sessions is going and kind of how the person is responding. I may ask guided questions kind of to say like, hey, what are you experiencing right now? What are you feeling? right out of the gate, a lot of the typical responses are nothing, I'm feeling fine. And then so then I kind of go into, well, this is what I'm seeing from the horse, so maybe check back in. And then they have to actually start really tuning into what their body is now saying or what they're emotionally feeling. So sometimes it'll be like very direct, hard questions, and other times it's very much like, we're going to delicately come around this, maybe do something else, and then come back to it. It just depends on how the person is feeling or reacting kind of in that moment.
It really seems like the first step is about awareness, because I think often we're so disconnected from our bodies that if someone was to come up to us and say, what are you feeling in this moment? 9 out of 10 times we're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm good, how are you, right? And so to take the time to actually like check in and be like, oh, like how do I feel right now? And that's what our horses kind of force us and ask us to do. I actually have a really good story that illustrates this quite well. I was working with Marbles, the horse that I have currently, and he's 4 years old, so he's young for a horse. He's a Morgan. And I was on my way driving out to the barn, and I was feeling a little bit anxious because I had gotten into my head. I've recently kind of switched some of my training techniques and kind of moving into a realm of new and unknown. And it doesn't matter who you are, when you're doing something new to you, you feel like you're out in the left field, kind of just flailing around. And I was really being hard on myself, having thoughts of like, who are you to think that you can train a horse or that you even know what you're doing? And it was just like really hardcore tearing myself down. But I have enough self-awareness to know I'm like, okay, these aren't the thoughts that I want to be thinking. But again, this is where the like incongruency is. So I showed up to the barn and I was like, I'm fine. Like, I'm just going to brush it off, pretend that I don't feel this way. But deep down, I did. And so when I brought Marbles out into the arena, he was really bad. He was like walking over top of me. He was like snapping at me. He was like threatening with his teeth towards my belly. And it was kind of like enough of a breaking point for me that I felt really frustrated because I was already having thoughts, feeling like I wasn't good enough. And then his bad behavior was, in my mind, I was making it seem true that I wasn't good enough. If I was a good trainer, my horse wouldn't be trying to bite me right now. And it was kind of like the breaking point for me where I was like at the top of my frustration level. And so I took myself out of the arena and I had a little self-pity party. I cried, honestly, for like 20 minutes. I just cried, like all of that emotion that had been bubbling up. I just allowed it to come out with Marbles on the other side of the fence. And I just let it happen. And then when I felt ready, I got up and I went back into the arena. And again, Marbles was like right back on top of me, like, hey. And it was almost as though he's like, you're not done. Like, figure out your shit and then come back and we can play, because right now you're being no fun. He's like, his personality is very curious and he's playful. And he's like, you're being like way too serious for me right now. Like, go deal with that and then come back. So I went back out of the arena. I cried for another 5 minutes. I was like, oh, you're right, I'm not done. But when I went in the last time, it was like instant change, like instant. I flipped a switch. I had allowed myself to release the emotion enough. I moved it through my body enough that it genuinely felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. And so when I went back into the arena for the third time, Marbles was like polite and really connected, and he was quiet, and he just like walked with me, and it was just a complete change. And that moment really, really illustrated to me that our horses pick up on things, even if we're pretending that they're not there, or even if we're not really aware that they're there, they know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's interesting. It's interesting too, because most people in that moment would have just labeled him as a bad pony. He's a bad pony. He should know better by now, right? These are kind of the things, the perspectives that we get stuck in, because it's really hard to take accountability and be like, I'm creating this problem. But yeah, when you're able to like step back and see like, what am I contributing to this? Mm-hmm. I had that moment of like, this isn't a Marbles problem. This is a Taylor problem.
Yeah. He was like teaching you through that moment. And luckily, you know enough about yourself and horses that you could, check in and do what you needed. But also what a gift you guys, your group, is giving to other people to be able to tap into the horses and learn from them. And honestly, it's like therapy, in my opinion anyways, a form of therapy to be able to come out and be able to work with them. And I also think like working with animals, it just opens up this almost like a bridge, because so many people are so closed off, and it's hard, especially people who have been through a lot of trauma and stuff like that. It can be really hard for them to open up just person to person. But you add an animal, horse, dog, cat, it totally just is a game changer for a lot of people, and it allows them to step back, relax a little bit, and just kind of get there. I want to say faster, although getting through the emotion fast isn't the goal, but it just, I don't know, it just opens up the door a lot easier, I think, if that makes sense.
I agree. The whole time I was thinking, man, what an incredible therapist the horse was. I mean, we think about it as people, you know, like you said, you know, we try to fake it till we make it, and you get that question, how you doing? And oh, fine, whatever. And unless you can read people pretty well, people can hide, you know, if they're not doing well. But like you said, that horse is going to pick up on it pretty quick, and going to force you to take a step back, and maybe 2 or 3 times, right? And man, I think it's better therapy session than any person could give, in my opinion.
What's cool about the horses is, so like each being has their own electromagnetic field, and most of it comes from the heart area. So I think people have about an 8 to 10 foot kind of radius. Horses have like 40 to 50 feet. So they can actually start to tell how you're feeling within 40 to 50 feet. They already know, hey, you're having a rough day. So yeah, it comes back to that, like, you can't fake it with a horse. They know the truth right out of the gate. And from my understanding, as a whole in the herd, they're always trying to kind of regulate each other. So as soon as you walk into their electromagnetic field, their whole being is now trying to sync with yours and trying to calm you. So your heart rate gets slower, and that's kind of how their presence transfers to you, which is kind of a cool thing. So as soon as you're like, oh, I can't do this, and they're like, okay, there's something weird here. We need to fix this.
I think the important thing to note, though, is that our horses don't really ask us to fix things. I would say it's more like just to bring awareness to it. That's all. They just want us to be aware of what's coming through in the present moment.
Yeah, no, I think that's a smart distinction to make.
Good point.
To just notice it and let it be there and feel what you need to feel without fixing or judging or that's smart.
That's where I find that's where I find my sessions are kind of cool, because they kind of present these moments for people to be like, oh yeah, I am feeling this. And then I just provide an opening for somebody to be like, well, I could do this, or I could do this, but I'm just going to do this instead. Like, there's multiple options, but you as yourself get to come up with those answers and then take them forward in your everyday life.
I wondered that as well. If as soon as people, you know, step into the area of the horses, if you're able to watch and see how the horses respond to it, even before they're even, you know, have a hand on the horse, or even I'm sure you're able to kind of gauge, you know, whether it's a relaxed environment or the individual is putting off some tension or stress, or what it is. And I'm sure.
And certain horses are more drawn to certain things than others. Like, certain horses can be super sensitive and like, oh, you have way too much today, I want no part of you. Where there's another horse that's like, but I like you, so I'm coming in today. I can handle you today. Today I can give you this support. So it is kind of interesting, even myself just walking into the field, who's coming up to me, who is offering unknown support that I didn't know I needed at that moment. It's definitely changed how I view all of my work with the horses. Like, if some of my horses are having a bad day, is it me? Is it them? Is it a combo? Are we feeding off of each other? So it definitely puts it in a very new perspective for me, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learning a lot.
I know, it's so cool. Like, so badly, I'm like, oh my God, when can we come to a workshop?
I want to go hang out with horses all the time now.
Just opening up a whole new world.
I have a little story, kind of like what Taylor's was, but kind of from a different perspective of it, that is kind of relatable to how you could apply it to everyday situations. So I also have a new to me horse. She was a feral horse, so completely untouched. So I've been training with her for the last couple of years as well. So I was working on her feet the other day, like 2 days ago, I guess it was. And I had come in with this expectation and then this intention. Okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And she wasn't at that level. There was a lot going on. There was people, there was kids running around, there was sounds on the highway. And she was just like, I'm here, I'm listening, but like, I can't do this at this level today. And I got frustrated and I was just like, why can't I just get this done? Like, you 2 days ago could hold your foot up so I could trim it. Now you can't even lift it up and then you're putting it right back down. So then I kind of stepped back and was like, okay, today, yeah, I'm frustrated, but today it's her. She's not able to process what's happening. So how can I meet her where she's at? So then I kind of had to rethink my approach and then in a way ask her like, okay, can you do this? And if you can do this, okay, that's great. Let's try that again. And like break it down into smaller motions for her. So you can translate this to everyday life where if you're working with somebody or somebody seems like extra aggravated or whatever, you can say, hey, you look like you're having some issues today. How can I help you? Or like approach it from a different angle instead of just assuming, oh, they're just being bad or defensive or whatever, right? Like there's usually a reason behind it. So it kind of, you can step back and be like, is this me? Is it them? How can I support if it's not me? Type of thing.
It's actually an interesting point because I think we do the same thing to our horses that we do to ourselves, right? Like we often, I think just in society in general, we often have this like shut up, shut down perspective where we just deal, right? Like we have to be tough and we have to deal. I have a job, it needs to get done and I just need to get through it. And Rune was reminding you in that moment to like slow down, break it down into like more achievable steps.
Hey, I can't do what you're asking me today. I need you to meet me where I'm at. Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said like for our horses as well. Like that's important, but then also for ourselves, like being able to reflect how we should break things down or, it doesn't have to be to 100 all the time. They're really good at helping us to remember to like slow down and like take breaths in between.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like it's forcing, learn patience with people. And you're right. I don't think there's enough of it in society. I think we're too caught up in schedules and deadlines and all the above. And this is just a reminder that, sometimes you do have to just stop, take a step back, reassess, figure things out, and maybe just give yourself a break and a reset and then come back into things with a different mindset or a different frame of mind, whatever. And, it sounds like the horses are kind of the best teacher for that in this respect.
Definitely.
One of the biggest lessons right now, actually, that I'm learning from Marbles is that I have the tendency when I'm working with him, like if I'm asking a question, I want him to like answer it perfectly. And I have this tendency to ask the question as many times as it takes to get the perfect response. And I get stuck on that, like, check mark, like here's a box, check, I did it. But sometimes, actually, no, like the majority of the time, if I get him thinking sort of in the right direction and I just like, yep, that's good, and we leave it there, the next time that I come back and I revisit whatever the question was or like whatever it is that we're working on, he nails it every time. And it's just, for me, I always go, oh, wow. Like there's kind of a threshold of where he can learn. And when I get him thinking the right way, to just step back and be like, perfect, let's end there. And then I'm not frustrating him. Like those times that I'm pushing for like the next thing or like, oh, you did that really good, let's get just a little bit more. And I get really nitpicky. That's when it falls apart. And he's like, oh, now I'm frustrated. I'm done. Like I'm out of here. Bye.
Yeah.
It's almost some of my bringing a level of compassion into everything you do with the horses, but also everything you're doing with yourself as well, right? It's just giving yourself a little bit more grace instead of always, yes, checking the box. Or like, oh, last year I could run this far, this fast, but this year I can't do it quite as fast. But
Yeah.
without taking into consideration all the things that have happened in that year, and you're just getting mad.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
you're a different, slightly different person than you were a year ago or even a
Yeah.
week ago, right? We're always evolving and changing. But I think we can, and me too, get very hung up on like, well, I used to be able to do this, 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 and this in a day and still have energy. And now I can do like 2 things and feel
Yeah.
like I'm not getting anything done and get switched into the negative mindset of that. But the horses have a way of bringing you back around and meeting everything. Yeah, I think like compassion is such a word that has been coming to my mind.
Mhm.
Talking to you
Yeah,
about it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and I think too, there's always like a feeling or a pressure that like you have to do this, or you have to be like this. We're constantly comparing ourselves, right?
Mm.
Whereas the horses don't compare. They're just there doing their thing. They're together or they're not, right? So when you go out and work with them, they're like, that over there doesn't matter. You're here. This is what matters. Be in this moment, which is what I really like about it.
Yeah, that comparison piece is
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are really bringing it all together. I mean, we've been really trying to focus on trying to encourage and support people and just getting out into nature and enjoying,
Mhm.
you know, being in nature and being present in nature and not being focused on, you know, work and stressful things, whatever is piled up, but just being out, going for a walk and being, yeah, like I say, very present in nature. And it sounds like this environment that you've created kind of encompasses all of that and more, with, you know, the involvement of the horses and
Mhm.
feeling, and what they experience and what they bring to the person as well. So
For sure.
yeah, I'm I'm loving this. This is amazing.
Actually, Amanda said something that sparked in my brain. Keyword, safe space.
Yes, I was just thinking that too. Safe space.
Yeah. To me, that is like when I think about the intention behind our workshops of what we're offering for people, is I want it to be a safe space for people to come and explore whatever comes up, and they can take it as deep or as superficial as they're
Mhm.
ready to meet it. But I just want it to be a place where it feels safe for people to begin to explore a little bit deeper connections to themselves, to their bodies, to their emotions, to the horses, the land around us.
Mhm.
That's really what I want people to get out of the experience.
And I think that's where like having the yoga piece ties in really well with the piece that Trisha's offering, with kind of that the view of what the horses are doing, and then my portion of it with the EAL kind of, okay, this is what the horse is showing that you're experiencing type stuff. It all ties in really nicely, because then you really get a sense of what your body is feeling. So when you go out into your everyday life, you can be like, oh, I'm feeling a tension in my shoulders. Am I worried or anxious right now? Or, ooh, I'm getting butterflies. Am I excited or nervous about something type thing? So it kind of gets people just touching base back with themselves, because everybody's just so mechanic and off into things, like into your phones or into outside of you, right? So it's kind of, yeah, bringing you back into yourself.
Yeah, 100%. So you guys have a workshop coming up. What does the day, I know you just touched on it a little bit there, Amanda, but what does it, so I'm pretend we're coming to your workshop, like we arrive, what's happening? What's kind of the, what that,
How's the day unfold?
Yeah.
Okay. So each workshop that we host is a little bit different, just depending on what our key theme or sort of like core essence of what we're working with through the day is. But of course, you know, you have to be open to whatever is going to come up is going to come up. But usually we'll have like a base theme that will carry throughout the day. And so no matter what it is, we usually start off with yoga, because I think that piece is important to start getting people into their bodies. Like sometimes they physically have to move their body to be like, oh, my right shoulder doesn't move. And I wasn't aware of that until I just tried to do this pose. And I went, oh, that's really tight. So to physically have people, you know, like check in and feel what it feels like to live in your body in this moment.
And quiet the mind too, right? Like that helps kind of settle everybody and shut off the outside world.
Yeah, it's a nice way to bring us all into this space together and kind of get us onto the same page as we start the day. Then often we'll do like a little snack break or change clothes or whatever. And then we break off into, sometimes we do groups, sometimes we do individual. Amanda will run her EAL sessions. I don't know if you want to speak a little bit more to that.
Yeah,
that
so it
might
kind
look
of
like?
depends on how big of a group we have. So a smaller group, I could do individuals. So we send out like a welcome email the week before, and in that has some questions in it that then I go through and pull some stuff. So I have a session kind of already pre-planned that we semi work through. I mean, again, it's whatever comes up. So generally we don't actually complete everything I have planned, but I kind of have a guide, and it's tailored to each person. If it's a group one, I kind of have a couple different activities for a group set up based around the general theme of the day. And then it kind of just flows through. And then as we cycle through everything, each person kind of changes out. I switch horses in between. I usually use a horse for only 2 people, just in case you don't want to overwhelm the horses. If, let's say, somebody has a really big emotional experience, the horse has to kind of decompress and get rid of that. So I tend to try to keep 2 people to a horse. So I'm switching out horses in between too.
This particular workshop that's coming up, we're actually doing through Trish's component, and I'll also be having people as well while Amanda's running her EAL. So Amanda's kind of bringing in the like, notice what's happening in your body and using
This
the
is
horse.
the visual representation of what's happening in you.
The horse as a reflection of that. And then Trish and I, this particular workshop, we're then going to take people and be like, okay, now let's play with that. So how can you change your energy to then change the reaction that you're getting out of the horse? So Amanda's is a little bit more like, you're not yet conscious of what's going on. Let's bring that to light. And then they'll come and work with us, and they'll be like, now let's actively, like intentionally work with that to change and direct what we want to get out of the horse. So this particular time we'll have different obstacles and things set up that people are going to get to walk the horses through at liberty, just using their body language to guide and push, pull, move the horse.
Wow.
Oh, I want to come so
I know.
And then I think
Amazing.
after all of that is done, we're doing like a head out to the herd and let's just see what you've learned over the day and what can you experience and what are you seeing and feeling and kind of that thing just out in a group of horses that are just loose doing whatever they want.
Yeah, so it's going to be like a little bit of like a meditative herd walk where people can go out and taking what they've learned from the day. Now, like what horse, like Amanda was discussing earlier, what horses approach you, what horse do you feel called to going to work with? And then we'll be doing a closing circle at the end. So if there's any reflections or anything that people want to bring up or discuss, or again, we want it to be a safe space. So if someone had something that was really empowering or inspiring or just really cool where they felt seen or had a light bulb moment, we want to create a space where people can share what came through for them.
But again, it's not expected, right? Like if it was a lot for you and you don't want to share, that's fine too.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not an expectation. You don't have to say
Yeah.
anything if you don't want to. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
How many people usually come to one of your workshops?
It's kind of dependent.
Yeah, it ranges a lot.
Do you have like a max capacity that you could do?
I think we were aiming for around like 8 people.
Yeah.
But depending on how many people we have, it just kind of changes the structure of the day. So 8's kind of a nice number. But it varies.
I would think 10 would be like the absolute most.
Yeah.
And then 4 would be like our absolute minimum.
Yeah. No, that's a nice group of people. It's big enough, but not so big that, especially because you're dealing with a lot of emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's 4 facilitators too. So it's nice because if somebody needs to take a step back, like someone who's coming to, and they're having a big moment and they maybe need a little bit of one-on-one attention, there's still facilitators to help, continue to run the other things if somebody's just having a time where they need a couple extra minutes.
And that's where Darianne kind of, her part really pulls out because she's like our administrative, she's our backbone and keeps everybody running and she kind of runs our day and she's the go-between, but she's also there as that extra person. So like, if you have questions or you need a minute, hey, I've got you type thing.
Yeah. And she's lovely and really easy to
Yes.
connect. So it
Right
makes
down
it-
to earth, easy
Yeah.
to talk with.
exactly. Yeah.
I also want to say too that it doesn't have to be really intense. Like if you
No.
come to our workshop and it doesn't, you don't have to be moving through heavy things if you don't want to be. Like it's not a requirement.
Yeah.
Um,
It just sounds like that tends to be kind of what we all think and expect. But no, it could be very lighthearted. Like it could just be a day of relaxation, or hey, I need a day to myself. I want away from the kids. The farm life is too busy. Your work life's too busy. I'm going to take this day and I'm just going to relax and hang out with horses.
feel a little bit more grounded.
Yeah.
Like if that's your intention behind coming to our clinics, that is also completely welcome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, we don't have any expectations of anybody going into it. It is whatever you make of it or what you want to get from it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
amazing. And is this the first of this kind with this sort of integration and what you've come up with? Is this like are there others that you're aware of?
No, it's not the first, but I don't think it's very common in our area.
No.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit of a newer thing, probably just in our area, but I do know that there is other people that do similar things.
Mhm.
They're all kind of different too, based on who's facilitating and running the programs too, from what I've gathered. And just the fact that we all come from a different kind of history and what brought us to this point also guides kind of how we run our stuff as well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So-
Yeah, it's unique to your experience as well.
Mhm.
How many? So you have one workshop this month and then one in October.
Yeah.
And then do you, because it's like winter's coming up, so is there workshops throughout the winter, or do you guys take the winter to just focus on other things and then start the workshops back up in the spring?
Previously, we've used the winter as like our planning time
Yeah.
where we like gather all our ideas and prep for what we want to do the following year. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is outside. Historically, we have kind of just taken the winter off and then we revisit it over the summer.
Mhm.
But I mean, that could change down the road.
Yeah, if there was interest in trying to do a winter one. I know I've run some of my sessions over the winter, and it can be challenging sometimes in the sense of it can be windy and it can be cold because we're outside, right? So, I mean, as long as people are willing for it, I think we would be up for it. We just haven't yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we won't in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once the demand is there.
Yeah. But most people are kind of fair weather people anyway, so
Yeah.
it's easier to kind of get focused into yourself when you're not trying to keep warm.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. It would be a bit of a barrier, I think, for
Yeah.
some people. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I can't remember what else I was going to ask. Do you have another question? Circle back to
When,
me.
yeah. I have another question. When can I come and spend time with the horses? That's
So our current clinic that we're running this weekend is now full, but we do have another one on October 18th that you are welcome to join if you'd like.
You know what? I'm off that weekend. I just may take it.
We would love to
We
have
would
you.
love to have you. Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
be away, but Dave can come.
Yeah.
Sadly, if I wasn't going to be running a half marathon in Detroit, I would be
Come play with our ponies.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the
Definitely.
location, where are you guys located?
The Talisman Equestrian in Omimi, just off Highway 7.
Yeah. So it's just west of Ballard Corners.
perfect.
Yeah.
I remember my question. If somebody wanted to book any private sessions with any of you, is that options for some people?
It is, yes.
Okay, very cool.
So we each kind of have our own like social media pages. So my kind of EAL stuff is run under Heart Alignment, HART. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And then Trish is under Talisman Equestrian. And Taylor.
I'm under Connected Equine Massage or Connected Equine Taylor. I think Facebook is Connected Equine Massage. And then Instagram is Connected Equine Taylor.
Mhm.
Cool.
And I also teach yoga through like different facilities here and there and everywhere. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that changes, but yeah, you can find me around for sure.
But you can also get us through our Through Horses page as well.
Yeah.
And all of us have access to that. So if anybody messages in either of the platforms, then we can kind of guide from there too as well.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
works for
somebody wanted
everybody.
more information on either a workshop or individually, if someone was like, man, I want to do yoga with horses, that sounds freaking amazing.
Yeah,
They could message that page and
definitely.
follow, be able to get all the info.
Mhm.
For
For
sure.
sure.
I
It's,
do just want to clarify.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just so people don't like get the wrong idea. When we do yoga, we do it outside of the horses field just because it's a liability. Like I don't want people
Yes.
being on the ground, and like our horses are very kind. Like no one would intentionally trample anybody, but sometimes like it just for safety reasons we keep that separate. But we usually will do it right outside of the field, and the horses will come down and like look over the fence, and they're like,
Yes,
"Why are
you
you
can
rolling around on the
see them.
ground?" Like,
Yeah.
so that there is that part. But when we're doing yoga, we're not in.
You're not in the field. No, it's
Yeah.
like together but separate. Like
Yeah.
they're behind a fence, and so you can see them while you're doing
Yes,
your yoga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're close enough, they're within that like 40-50 range. So they're still providing like that peaceful benefit that everybody gets from them.
That's
Mhm.
so cool.
I'll be honest, there was part of me that was hoping that the horses were going to lay down and do some of the yoga as well.
Maybe that
Some
could
of
be a
them
future
probably do
goal,
in
I
the
don't
field.
know.
I think Marbles would do it.
Yeah.
I'm right now. He's I'm training him to be like a trick Liberty horse. I don't know. It's just I don't really have any real goals. It's just fun, and he's down to do whatever. So, I'll teach Marbles how to do yoga. He'll be all over that.
And,
Yeah. So maybe in the future we'll have like one
yeah.
or two.
Taylor,
Yeah.
now you're doing equine massage, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Did you study at Darcy Lane?
No, I actually went through Equinology.
Okay.
The programs run out of the States, and so the like Canadian integration of that is the Canadian Institute of Equine and Canine Bodyworks, kind of a long one. So when I take courses, I usually have to go out to Alberta for them.
Okay. Super.
Yeah.
I had a 22-year career as a massage therapist prior to what I do now. And when I first looked into pursuing massage therapy, I was really close to heading into the equine massage direction.
That's cool.
At the time there was only one facility in Canada that provided it, and as you say, the States was the other direction to head.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious because you don't hear of very many equine massage therapists, in the area. Really.
I would say on the contrary.
It's starting to
right?
become popular.
It's getting really popular now. Yeah, we've got a lot more people out there doing it now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm behind the times.
Well,
yeah, that's right.
I would say just over like the last couple of years, it's really started blowing up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
The horses are getting what they need too.
More people out helping our horses.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Good.
I love it. Yeah. Any questions, Allison?
No, I think that was pretty much all my questions.
That was incredibly educational, and I know I learned a lot, and man, I'm excited to kind of pursue this a little bit.
Yeah, I want to become
dig
a horse
into
person.
this, and
This ties right into because we have been rewatching Yellowstone as of late. And so this is it just happened like now Dave's been wearing his cowboy hat around. It's been a fun time. Ready to actually get on a horse or pet a horse, be near a horse.
Yeah, I guess we'll go get a horse next.
That would be amazing. I would love that, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
Better start saving
There's
up.
always opportunity to learn. If you're not learning, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It never stops.
Yeah. And just a big thanks to you guys for kind of creating this and this, like you say, safe space for people to recognize that there is a place to go to heal and to kind of, well, as you say, a day for yourself and unwind. And I think it's needed more now than ever. So kudos to you guys for creating this space and for doing what you're doing, because I'd like to see more of it, or more people make use of it, is what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's really needed, and it's amazing that it's right here in our community and people have access to it thanks to you guys.
Thank you.
And it doesn't, you don't, like you said, you don't have to have a horse experience, or you can have horse experience. Like there's no limit, right? So it's for everybody.
Yeah, that's an important thing to know as well. So if
Mhm.
you've never touched a horse before, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're still welcome.
Yeah. And it's not like, we do get a lot of women for it, but it's not just for women. Like it's for men and whoever, like adolescents too. Like it's for everybody.
Yeah. And what if there was someone who had some mobility issues? Could they still come and like do the yoga in a chair? And like participate, but just to what they were comfortable with? You could make some accommodations for that type of thing.
Yeah, of
For
course.
sure, yeah.
I try. It's really important to me to keep yoga accessible. I don't ever want anyone coming feeling like they can't keep up. There is no keeping up in yoga, by the way, but I don't want anyone feeling that way or feeling like they can't, like feeling frustrated because they can't. It's really important for me for people to be able to just work with their bodies where they're at. And so I always provide modifications. I tell people if they need to skip a pose, then go right ahead. Like if you need to show up and lie in Shavasana for the whole time because that's what your body needs from you right now, like do what you need.
The same goes to like with working with the horses. We can make accommodations. So if somebody's like, oh, I'm really interested in this, but like, I don't want to be that close to a horse. That's okay. We can do a protected contact where their horse is on the inside of the fence and we're on the outside. Like we can make a lot of accommodations that way too, because we're not like, we don't want to exclude anybody. So you can build up and whatever your comfort level is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. We have Allie and I often go for an evening walk after dinner, and just down our road, further down, there's 2 horses that are often out in the field, and we look forward to seeing them, and we hope that they're out every time that we go for a walk.
To look at them.
Yeah,
So
and it's
pretty.
almost a disappointment if they're in the barn or they're not visible. We kind of get up there, and we, like I say, we look forward to seeing them, and we'll just stop on the road and just kind of watch them for a while, and they watch us, and it's just a really neat like pause for that moment, and have a little bit of therapy for us as well, and connection, and then we carry on with our walk. But like I say, we look forward to it every evening.
I feel like we all do the same too when we're driving around. I'm always like, oh, there's horses. Oh, oh, well, those ones aren't out today.
Yeah. No, that's great. Wow. Yeah, we really appreciate you guys coming on today and giving all this information, and again, just what you guys are doing for the community. It's great.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're thrilled when you guys invited us. It was great.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime.
Definitely. I know Trish and Darianne will probably want to jump on at some point.
Yeah, we can have them on next time. That'd be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll do another episode after we've been there. We can share our experience.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yes.
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.